Force is what gives the Jedi its power. It's an energy created by all living things. It surrounds us, it penetrates us, it combines and inhabits the air.
Did we see the world between worlds in The Rise of Skywalker? And did Rey Skywalker access the world between worlds in The Rise of Skywalker like Ezra in Star Wars Rebels? I believe there's overwhelming evidence at this point that the world between worlds was a part of The Rise of Skywalker, so let's take a look at the evidence. Now, after the movie's release in December, Cheatsheet.com suggested Reddit user u/Hamilta13 noted that the sky above Rey fades into what looks exactly like the world between worlds seen in Star Wars Rebels. This would also be why she doesn't see Force ghosts, but just hears their voices. In the Rebels episode, that's what Ezra experiences as well, and Ezra hears past, present, and future voices regardless of if they were alive or not." End quote. Comicbook.com also speculated after the movie release, stating, while the film didn't definitively confirm this sequence featured the world between worlds, Rebels fans can't help but notice the similarities between the scene had in the animated series. Rey might not have physically entered the realm, and there might not have been portals visible, but the voices heard from across space and time clearly draw heavy influence from the animated series. End quote. Remember, Dave Filoni has confirmed that Ezra Bridger actually accessed the world between worlds several times during Star Wars Rebels. It was only in Season 4, however, that he actually entered the world between worlds using a portal. Let's take a quick look at what Filoni said about this in Rebels Recon.
So I started seeding in Season 1 this idea of a place where there are stars. When Ezra's in the Jedi Temple and he gets his lightsaber crystal, he is in that world between worlds. He just doesn't know it yet because he's too naive and he's not fully unlocked. The next time he's there with Yoda. And Yoda obviously knows about it because Yoda's talking to him through this as some kind of conveyance where they can both exist in this place. But they probably aren't very far from where they are physically. But it doesn't have anything to do with the physical. It has to do with kind of where they believe they are and where they are mentally.
So clearly it's possible for Rey to access the world between worlds on Exegol. But let's move on to some more evidence here. At the time the visual dictionary was published, the Nerdist published an article that gives us some more evidence. They state, the Jedi books that Rey stole from the tree on Ahch-To in The Last Jedi play an important role in the Rise of Skywalker. Rey remembers important information about the planet Exegol from her readings, and she used them to solidify her knowledge of the Force. One fun little tidbit gleaned from the dictionary is that the books actually reference the world between worlds from Star Wars Rebels. The mystical plane shows up in the animated series, a place that connects all space and time. Time travel and course correction is possible due to the world between worlds, and many fans have speculated that Rey and Kylo's connection is possible via this power. The dictionary states that the world between worlds is known as the Chain Worlds Theorem or the Virgin Scatter. So this is clearly an awesome connection between the movies and Star Wars Rebels, but the novelization of The Rise of Skywalker really solidifies all this, and Inverse.com covers this, stating, one fan also noticed that at one point in the book there's something that paraphrases the world between worlds. In Star Wars Rebels, the world between worlds is kind of a time portal that let Ezra Bridger rescue Ahsoka Tano from Darth Vader. And in the Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary, it was made clear that the world between worlds could have been the one way that Rey contacted the spirits of the Jedi in the past for the grand finale. And then they go on to give us this quote from the book. It was like she was staring through a window to somewhere else, a place between places. End quote. And surely a place between places is a reference to the world between worlds. So I believe even though Rey didn't enter the world between worlds, she did tap into it in a similar way that Ezra Bridger did in early Star Wars Rebels seasons. He didn't enter this mystical place at those points, but he did access them, as Rey does in The Rise of Skywalker. And this is how Rey hears the various Jedi and Force users from the past. They are not Force ghosts, they are voices that she hears from the world between worlds. And if we rewind to the beginning of the movie, you might remember that Rey is trying to hear from the Jedi at this point. So it would seem, thanks to the ancient Jedi texts that she took from Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, she has been training herself to tap into the world between worlds and hear those voices. Which makes me hope that at some point she will make contact with other Force users that are alive at this point in the timeline, such as Ahsoka Tano. But I'll save that speculation for another video. As always, I'm Mike, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you at this challenging time.